I'm Double D, and welcome to the 5th battle in the Combat Mission Scottish Corridor campaign. The Scottish Corridor campaign follows two regiments, 9th Cameronians and the 2nd Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders during Operation Epsom. The campaign has a reputation for being tough to win. It's now Tuesday, June 27th at 1000 hours. Yesterday, over 3 battles, the 9th took and held Bosque to our northwest. This gave me 3 victories in the first 3 battles. This morning, C and B companies secured Colville, but failed to secure Torville and the main highway. This resulted in a British Army total defeat. Whilst I only secured Colville, B company have continued their advance southwest, skirting Torville and joining the main highway further west. I've now been ordered to continue west on the road to secure the road at Mondrainville. The area has several large orchards. I'm to take and hold 3 areas of the village identified as Marianne, Retty and Is. I have 3 platoons from B Company, support from 2nd section of 4 platoon carrier, 1 section 6 platoon pioneers, 3rd troop from 15 Recce Regiment, with support later in the battle from 2 6-pounder 80 guns with Lloyd's carriers, and 1st troop from 15 Recce. I also have 81 and 25-pounder artillery. It's raining and the ground is wet, so there is a risk of vehicles bogging in the mud. I'm facing the 12th SS again. Intel suggests these troops are not so well equipped or trained, as they are mostly rear support soldiers. There is also reports of light armour moving in from Grainville. Let's look at the plan. We are looking south, with the British forces staging from the left. Apart from the 3 objectives already identified by battalion command, I've identified 4 other key locations: Grable, Taylor, Hayworth and Lake. They are all brick buildings which provide key line of sight over the 3 battalion objectives. My plan is to advance west, or right on the map, and first secure Grable, move on to Taylor, and I shall use each of these objectives as a firebase to suppress and support my advance. From Taylor I will then move to Hayworth, and from Hayworth to Lake. I have an hour with some extra time to complete my objective. I shall use the light armour from 3rd and later 1st Troop to provide support fire. I'll need to keep them at range to prevent damage from Panzerschrecks and Fausts. I also expect to face MG34s, which have inflicted a high count of casualties during the last 4 battles. I shall prioritise those weapons teams where needed. With the plan set and communicated, let's move to the battle. 12 platoon takes the lead, with scouts from 1 section moving up the road and 3 section moving across the fields. The scout teams immediately come under fire, but they push forward. It's light rifle fire, so I push up the rest of 12 platoon. I start to come under MG fire. It looks like it's coming from my left flank, just on the north side of the main highway. My forward soldiers get eyes on, and the platoon goes to work on suppressive fire. We also have an 81mm mortar barrage pre-called in along that line of hedgerow. The 2-inch mortar team works on either displacing or destroying the defenders. 2 cars from 3rd Troop start to put down preemptive fire on the buildings at Grable. 12 platoon continue to work on getting fire superiority over the MG nest on my left flank. I bring up second section to expand my fire line. The 12 platoon gets sight of more defenders. Meanwhile in the centre, we suddenly spot a small team heading towards a house just south of Grable. And on my left flank, defenders relocate from the hedgerow into the brick building. 12 platoon lay down suppressive fire both on my left flank and the building in the centre. Meanwhile I start to walk my mortar barrage into its second target. I bring up one of the cars to provide heavier fire support. Germans deeper in the defence line suddenly start to withdraw. It looks like the entire defence force in the centre is pulling back. I continue to walk my mortars around the battlefield. The defenders in the centre are withdrawing to Hayworth, but I'm cautious this may be a feint. 12 platoon, with support from 11 platoon, continue to push towards Grable. I shall continue with my plan to aim for Grable and then push through Grable to Taylor. I have some sound contacts just west of Objective Lake. I've walked my mortar barrage along fire line 1, fire line 2, and the defensive point marked with an X. As 12 platoon advance on Grable, I shall relocate my fire to fire line 3, just south of Hayworth. Hayworth is starting to look like a defensive stronghold. The sound contact was armour, and it looks like a Panzer IV. It's moving behind Lake, potentially to Hayworth. I push 12 and 11 platoons towards Grable. Grable looks empty, so I bring up a Humber 3 in support. I suddenly realise that's not my mortar fire, and quickly pull back 12 and 11 platoons from their attack. I'm not sure if these are spotting rounds or it's a light barrage. I take the opportunity to bring up 10 platoon from reserve. 12 platoon has 2 green sections and 1 regular, whereas 10 platoon has 2 regular and 1 green. I'm going to rotate 10 and 12 platoons, putting 12 platoon in reserve. My adjusted barrage starts to fall on the 3rd fire line. The first 6-pounder crew arrive, and it's in the northeast exposed sector of the map. I make the decision to drive them across the muddy wet ground and risk bogging. Both the 6-pounder and the support Lloyd make it across the cornfield, making it to the relative safety of the command area. The barrage on Grable seems to be over, so I start to push forward 10 platoon. My forces are horribly bunched up, but Grable is empty, so I continue to move them forward as quickly as possible. Two section, 10 platoon, the first to reach Grable. I bring up 4 platoon carriers who are also transporting the pioneers. Whilst the rest of 10 platoon advance upon Grable. We've had no further contact. The second 6-pounder arrives, and I make the same decision to run it across the boggy cornfield. They were spotting rounds, and I take my first casualties. I quickly push 10 and 11 platoon into and through Grable to avoid any more artillery fire. C Company Commander and 12 platoon stay well behind, whilst my second 6-pounder joins the first. Ten platoon scouts move out from Grable towards Taylor. Still no further contact on my left, centre or on my right fronts. With the barrage over, I bring up 12 platoon and C Company Commander. Also the Humber and the Daimler from 3rd Troop. I order the company sniper team to advance up the road on my left flank, and the FO redirects fire onto the stronghold at Objective Hayworth. The Bren teams of 2nd Section, 4 platoon carrier, are ordered to clear the area on my left flank. It's the houses south of Grable where I made my first contacts. It looks like the SS withdrew. They're advancing with preemptive fire on the buildings to ensure that there is no ambush. My mortar fire starts to fall on Hayworth. whilst I bring up 10 and 11 platoons to prepare for my attack upon Taylor. The sections start to lay down suppressive fire, and the lead element from 10 platoon, 3rd section, advance across the orchard. There is no return or ambushing fire. On my left flank, the carrier platoon clears through the buildings. They use preemptive fire to try and spot any potential ambushing SS. One of the houses are occupied. And the section opens fire. Supported by a Daimler and a Humber. Taylor appears to be empty. 10 and 11 platoons continue to push through to the western side of the complex. Grable is secure and occupied by company commander, and Hayworth appears to have the largest concentration defending SS. I shall continue with my plan. I will attack Hayworth and then push on from Hayworth to Lake, linking through to secure all 3 battalion objectives. Second section 4 platoon continue to clear my left flank. And the last of the defenders are neutralised. At Taylor, 10 and 11 platoons move up to prepare to attack Hayworth. They have the benefit of brick buildings and they're 2 stories, so I should get a good field of fire. Both platoons will move into position at the same time in order to attain maximum fire superiority. MG fire comes from the hedgerow to the west. Suddenly a light tank appears. A Panzer II. Pierce shot misses, but the crew appear to be shaken. Pier hit and the Panzer II burns. A racing PSW suddenly appears. Commander ducks in as he comes under heavy fire. The 20mm cannon rakes tail, and it disappears behind Hayworth. I order the lightly armoured Humber to withdraw from the 20mm cannons, and I bring up a Stag from 3rd Troop to try and engage the PSW. Immediate fire direct from Hayworth is light, but the MG is a problem. We spot more light armour, half-track MG. It looks like an SPW 250. And we get eyes on the Panzer IV. It's just north of Lake. Stag spots the SPW. It's not clear if it's knocked out. One section 10 platoon start an assault on Hayworth. They have a Stag in support. One man from the section escapes from the MG team. Line of sight's pretty poor, and the Staghound and the Daimler have no line of sight to the ground floor. I order the cars to lay down suppressive fire and bring up 3 section 10 platoon. The MG team continue to inflict casualties. I try bringing more support. And look to try and get fire superiority. I try to utilise every angle possible. There are still defenders to the far west. Some of the SS withdraw. More light armour is spotted. And I make the decision to withdraw the attack. Several half-tracks have moved up to support the stronghold at Hayworth. The smaller calibre armaments on the cars are struggling to destroy the half-tracks. I make the decision to abandon the attack on Hayworth. I leave the remnants of 10 platoon to guard Taylor, and I order 11 and 12 platoon to manoeuvre to attack Lake. 1st and 3rd Troop form a fire line, and 11 and 12 platoons are ordered to manoeuvre south, then west along the main highway to Objective Lake. Time is ticking, so I shall look to set up a firebase at Objective Lake and deny the SS the final 2 battalion goals. Let's follow B Company on the final leg of its battle. The SS defence of the hedgerow between Lake and Hayworth stands firm. 11 and 12 platoon quickly reach Lake unopposed. I then bring up some of the light armour for support. The Panzer IV is somewhere in the area. I bring Piat teams with me. With less than 10 minutes left, the Staghounds spearhead the attack. "11 and 12 platoons rush up the floors of the building to get line of sight. Hell breaks loose. There's a second SS defence line. Piat's missed the Panzer, and it's now on the move. After several shots from the Daimler, it's immobilised. More light armour on the second defence line opens fire. The intel report said the SS was poorly equipped. That's not poorly equipped. I tried to quickly relocate forces behind the second defence line. And Piat teams tried to destroy the Panzer. We're burning through the skirts, but not hitting the Panzer's hull. Mortars and the surviving Piat Team put down smoke in an attempt to obscure its line of sight. I've already lost a Daimler in my attempt to flank the second defence line. Then one of the Staghounds gets taken out by 20mm cannon fire. It's taking too long to take out the armour. One of the 6-pounders has manoeuvred to try and get a shot upon the Panzer IV. As the smoke clears, they open fire. And at last the crew bails. I order 12th Platoon to reposition to prepare for an attack upon the second defence line. More 20mm cannon fire from a hidden armoured car. The green troops of 12th Platoon scatter. My Staghound spots the armoured car, and as it burns, the battle draws to a close. I achieve a tactical victory. I have secured 1 battalion objective and inflicted sufficient casualties upon the SS. But around 30% of my force is either dead or wounded. I think the high death count is because of the light armour I was facing. The SS failed to achieve any of their objectives, hence the tactical victory. I don't think this is a battle I've won. I think this is a battle the SS lost. If we take a look at the map, you can see the disposition of both the Allied and Axis forces. First, let's have a look at the Axis light armour. Don't forget to look in the bottom left-hand corner for the kill stats. The 2 PSWs set up in ambush. This SPW took out one of the Daimlers. And this AT gun was a contributing factor to my decision to switch my attack flanks. Hayworth still looks to be heavily defended, though they do appear to be mostly green troops. The Panzer IV, 19 casualties inflicted. And if we look at the second, the 6-pounder that took out the Panzer IV, and then if we take a look at 12 Platoon, in a very sorry state. In hindsight, maybe I pushed this too far and I've suffered too many casualties. Perhaps I should have been more patient, focused my attack on the right flank, took out the AT gun and continued with my original plan. My creeping barrage was effective, 10 casualties. If we look at 10 platoon, I've lost an entire section, and I don't know what this means for the rest of the day's battles. But I can't sulk. I have to pull up my trousers, best foot forward, and let's move on. As we leave B Company reorganising, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all again soon.